This is a significant story. To my right, NRS correspondent Michele Greenstein, who's going to be filling us in on some of the information. Also, former Pentagon official Michael Maloof is also going to be sharing his insight on this. Michele, let me begin with you. This Khalifa guy, who is this guy? He seems a little mysterious.
All right, so Khalifa Haftar joined the Libyan military in '96. He was actually part of the coup 3 years later, the bloodless coup that led to Gaddafi taking power. He rose through the ranks and eventually became a key military commander in the country's conflict with the neighboring country, Chad. So he was fighting for Gaddafi's army at the time. Then in 1987, he's actually taken prisoner by Chad along with 400 other troops. And it's here that he connects with U.S. intelligence agents in Chad. Now, he defects from the Libyan military and actually pledges loyalty to the National Front for Salvation of Libya, which is this U.S., CIA, Saudi-backed operation that wants to overthrow Gaddafi. So he and his men are literally trained by the CIA's Special Activities Division, which is the CIA's paramilitary arm.
Well, hold on a minute. You just mentioned that he started working with U.S. military, and suddenly we jumped to CIA. Where's the CIA connection coming?
He's trained by the CIA's Special Activities Division, which is the CIA's paramilitary arm.
I see.
So that's where the U.S. connection comes from in like sabotage and other guerrilla skills. And this is also a Saudi-backed outfit. Now, this coup attempt to overthrow Gaddafi fails to the point where actually in 1990, U.S. officials had to rescue him and his fellow Libyans and find them a new home. They tried a few different African countries. No one wants them. And eventually, a U.S. military aircraft takes him and about 350 other men, including Haftar, to the U.S., and they're given refugee status. Then he continues to train in rural Virginia in anticipation for another coup attempt. But this is where he is.
He trains
Haftar,
here.
Yes.
Is training here. Let me just stop you for a minute.
Sure,
Bring in Michael. Mike, the word that we've been hearing all day long is that this guy's a CIA asset. What the hell does that mean?
It means that he was picked up by the CIA in a prison during the Libyan-Sudan war, and Gaddafi disowned them because they became prisoners. And Gaddafi, the Haftar feels, was trying to kill him. So consequently, he turned on Gaddafi.
But maybe here's what I need to get from one of you guys. Once a CIA asset, always a CIA asset?
Until you cross the CIA.
And he hasn't, apparently? What do we know?
Well,
I guess what I'm trying to nail down.
He has.
This guy's a very powerful man, right?
Sure.
Who's moving on the capital of Libya.
Right.
Yes.
Now, so what's interesting is that, yes, he used to be a CIA asset, but now he's launching this offensive against the UN-backed government that NATO and the CIA helped install. So he's no longer useful to the CIA anymore. So it makes sense that he's being called what used to be a CIA asset instead of one that's current. But before that, you know, he had this cushy life in Virginia. He was bankrolled by the CIA. He had people that were close to him were like, where's he getting all this money from? He lived right here, just like a few feet away from us right now in Virginia, voted in the Virginia elections, had a kind of cushy life here.
He's enigmatic. I don't know if we can make any, draw any assumptions from that. But Michael, the reason, what I really want from you is, can you describe for me and for our viewers what the best case scenario is in all of this for the Libyan people?
Libyan people is that they want peace. They are tired of fighting. And the possibility is that because Haftar is on the brink of going into Tripoli, he is also absconded with and taken over his forces with the oil in the south. So consequently, he basically controls about 70% of the country right now.
Well, but when you say oil, ding, 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 I'm thinking, oh, oil? Well, here comes the West, right? Or am I wrong?
Wrong. Russia, France's Total, Saudi Arabia, they're all backing him.
So
and against the U.S., which supports the UN-led government in Tripoli.
So this is fascinating what you just said. So here we're thinking, okay, NATO, the UN, France, obviously, who's played a hand in this before, the Brits, the Americans. No, there's a chance they could be stymied this time by the Russians and the Saudis?
Yep.
Working in conjunction?
Along with the UAE, and and they're back in Haftar at this time.
So if this thing goes as we have described and they march or move on Tripoli, does this thing blow up?
Well, there's some question whether he's going to go all the way in. What he may be trying to do is gather. There's supposed to be a conference in mid-April, and also elections at the end of the year, which he agreed to. What they think he's trying to do is gather as much control of the country in order to show that he is in total control of the country. Rather than, he probably could go all the way in right now if he wanted to.
When we say control, are we talking geography or are we talking citizenry?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
The people are behind this guy?
Yeah, a significant portion of the population is behind him. They see him as someone who took initiative where others either didn't try or tried and failed to liberate this country from these Islamist militias. So this won him credibility, this won him popularity. To an extent, his influence is overblown, but he's definitely popular in the country.
They regard him, even though they might regard him as a tyrant, I personally look upon him as the modern-day Libyan Caesar.
Really?
Coming back in.
Is he a cult of personality, this guy?
He's turning into one.
Wow. Well, remember the name, Khalifa Haftar. You heard it here first. This is probably something we're going to be following for you right here.
He's also a U.S. citizen,
which
as
is
you
what
pointed out.
Right. This is what makes him so enigmatic at this point.
Yes.
Michael Maloof, Michele Greenstein, well done. Thank you for taking us through that.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.